Hello and yes, welcome to another video with me, Rockboy680. So today I'm going to be doing my thoughts on the solo career of Jeff Lynne. So for those of you who don't know, Jeff Lynne, of course, is basically the Electric Light Orchestra. A very popular 70s and 80s band, and I want to talk about his solo career. So I've been inspired by two people here in the vinyl community, two great friends of mine to make this video. First up, James Lynne, made a video on the solo career of Lindsey Buckingham. Of course, he is basically Fleetwood Mac in the mid-70s to the late 80s. He's in a very similar position to Jeff Lynne, very well known for the band he was in and his solo career. Hasn't done much like Jeff, but it all gets brushed over. And secondly, I really enjoyed our good old 806's video, Ross, where he was talking about produced Jeff Lynne stuff. So nothing that Jeff has actually done himself, or nothing that Jeff has actually sung on himself. I'm going to apologise about this lorry that's just down the road behind me. He's being so annoying. But anyway, who talked about, you know, like albums which Jeff has produced in the late 80s and in the 90s. So I'm, you know, inspired by two videos there. Two great people here in the VC, two of my great friends. So shout out to both you guys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over Jeff's actual solo career first. Going to talk about the stuff he's made. And then I'm going to talk about the stuff which he's produced. So anyway, we're going to start off with the first thing which he ever released as a solo artist. And that was a 12-inch single which he done in 1977 when he was still with the Electric Light Orchestra. So he done this around the time of New World Record, Out the Blue. And it's a single called Doing That Crazy Thing. So here it is. It's kind of a fun song. It's like a pop song. He's definitely done better as a solo artist and in ELO, but it's not one of Jeff's worst songs by no means, as including the ELO catalogue. But you know, it's kind of interesting. You get the B side, Going Down to Rio. I can't actually remember that one, but this isn't a bad single, and it really shows how good Jeff is at producing, because this song has a lot of funky kind of elements in it. So it would have definitely been a hard song to make. So I've got to take my hat off to Jeff for this song. And of course on the back we've got his picture from On the Third Day. Now you can also get this single as a part of an Electric Light Orchestra box set. So this is just called the Box of Their Best. ELO, this is only a US release, where you get the album A New World Record, Out the Blue and Discovery. But you also get the 7-inch of this single, which I'll show you, because it actually doesn't have the same cover as the 12-inch. So it's a little different. So, there it is. Oh, hang on. I'm not going to show any other 7 inches, because you know, I don't find 7 inches too interesting, but so you can also get it in that box set, which is, this is a really cool box set. Probably the rarest of the 3 ELO boxes, because you've got the blue one, and then the red one, and you've got the green one. So, anyway, that's cool. And then, still no album from Jeff. Next thing we get is another 12-inch single from him in 1984. So this is from a soundtrack to a film. I forget what the film was. Electric Dreams, an 80s film. Probably a load of crap. But anyway, it's called Video. I really like this song actually. This is really cool. The only problem is I like it. I like the music video to it, which I'm pretty sure is just taken from the film. Because you get kind of like a robot counting you down at the start. And I really like it. It sounds kind of funky and weird. Very 80s. So if you don't like the 80s, skip this. But, you know, and they don't actually put it on the track. So, hey, they missed out on something there. But this is a fun song. I really like it. And the B-side is just, you get another track. Oh, no, there's 2 tracks on the B-side. You get Sooner or Later. And then you get a video instrumental. So if you want to sing along to it. And then still no album from Jeff, but we get a compilation which come out in, what year was this? 1989. Now I have a kind of a theory about this one. Him and George Harrison kind of put their compilations out at the same time, because George Harrison put out a compilation, The Dark Horse Years, and it has a very similar cover. But this is super rare on vinyl, so I'm very lucky to have it, and you know, it very rarely pops up, and it's called A Message from the Country, 1968 to 1973, Jeff Lynne. So, this is on Harvest Records. so completely off Jet Records at this point. But it basically consists of his songs from the Idol race and some early ELO stuff and The Move. So you get a bit of Roy Wood on there, but you know, who cares about Roy Wood? So anyway, very cool. Putting out a compilation before an album, that has to be a first, don't it? Then we get an album. We get an album from Jeff, finally. So just after the Wilburys had finished, after Jeff had done his producing on Tom Petty, George Harrison, Roy Orbison and whatnot, Jeff decides to go into the studio and make his own solo album. Finally, and it's a masterpiece. It really is a fantastic record. It's Armchair Theatre. Couple cover songs on here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4 cover songs on here, and just loads of his own stuff. But generally, there are some fantastic tracks on here. Again, still very ELO sounding, because you know, you expect that. That's what you want from the album as well. You don't want him to go to a completely different style. You want him to kind of keep to his roots, and he does, and it's a very, very good album. Really, really good. And he releases 2 12-inch singles from it, one of which is super rare, so I haven't got it. It is, and it was the second single, Lift Me Up. Is available on a 12-inch. I don't like mine 7 inches. I only like to get them on 12-inch. The 7-inch of it is pretty cheap. 12-inch is incredibly rare, so I don't yet have that one. But I do have the first single, which was released, which is pretty common, Every Little Thing, which is an amazing track. And then you get a 12-inch remix on the A side. You get the album version on the B side, and then a bonus track called I'm Gone. So very cool. And they're on Reprise. And then, of course, in 2013, he decides to reissue Armchair Theatre with 2 bonus tracks on, Borderline and Forecast, and this is on blue vinyl. So here it is. Different cover as well, but very similar. And this is amazing. Any ELO collector who does not have this, check it out. This is better than half ELO's albums, to be honest. I did a ranking of my 15 least to best ELO albums, including all the solo stuff, and this came right around the middle, which is, you know, just shows really good. If you're an ELO fan, you haven't heard this, you got to check it out. It's really good. And then, of course, in 2001, it comes under the title of the Electric Light Orchestra. Just the only reason it has ELO's name on it and not Jeff's is so it would have sold better. But it really is a Jeff Lynne album, because I think Jeff Lynne is the only member from ELO on here. I don't know, Richard Tandy might be on here. I'm certain Bev Bevan was gone by this point. He wasn't on this record. But it is Zoom. Fantastic record again. Absolutely amazing. Some outstanding tracks on here. Again, very ELO sounding. This is just a remarkable album again. However, Jeff did cut one of the best songs from the album, which I never understood. He done a song called Long Black Road, which is out of this world. And if you want to hear that, you have to get the soundtrack to the film American Hustle. And you can hear it on there. There is also an instrumental Jeff Lynne track called Stream of Star, which is on here. And very, very cool. So, yeah. And the last thing from Jeff Lynne, and apparently he is working on a new album, which is amazing news, but the last thing that we've had, which has been released, and this was put out on white vinyl, was Long Wave, which is basically his kind of American songbook album, and it is amazing. This album is seriously underrated. People kind of trash it because he's not doing his own songs. Why'd they have to do it now? Anyway, very, very cool. I really, really like this. It's a fantastic solo album. Just a masterpiece. Really good. Okay, so in that time, I forgot to bring the record down, I just realised. But in that time, he also did re-record a lot of the old ELO hits, called Mr. Blue Sky, the very best of ELO, put out on blue vinyl. I can't be asked to go back up to my room and get it. But it's available. And of course, he did the live record called ELO Live, which I also have, but I forgot to bring down. And now that I think about it, there's another one which I forgot to bring down. There's the Hyde Park live concert. But it's a bootleg, so it's not actually an official release, so we can forget about that one. What does everyone want to make a noise for now? Anyway, we're going to move on to the producing side. So anyway, Jeff Lynne got a call around 1986 that George Harrison wanted to meet him. And George Harrison wanted Jeff to help produce his new album. Cloud 9, which is a fantastic record. Very, very ELO Jeff Lynne feel. Probably my third favourite George Harrison album. This is a great record. You really get a Jeff Lynne feel from it. So yeah, great. And then the next thing which come out, which has Jeff Lynne's name on, I don't think Jeff had much to do with this. Just a couple of the songs on here he produced, which come from Cloud 9 times. And this is what I mean by that Jeff Lynne compilation. It's very similar cover, come out at the same time. The George Harrison Dark Horse years. So yeah, all the best to Dark Horse. So yeah, it's cool. And then of course Jeff Lynne, George Harrison got the idea of making a band called the Travelling Wilburys. And of course George invited Jeff down to be in his new band. So here's the first album, Volume 1. So there's Jeff. This band also features Bob Dylan, Tom Petty and Roy Orbison. And of course George Harrison. And you know, it is all produced by George Harrison and George Harrison and Jeff Lynne, because out of these 5 musicians here, Jeff is easily the standout producer. He's magical. Jeff Lynne gets, I think he only gets one song on here that's really his, Rattled. You know, he does a lot of backing vocals on it, and all the songs really kind of feel very ELO-ish at times, especially with the backing vocals, so it's really good, really good. And then of course Travelling Wilburys put out their second album, but they decided to skip Volume 2 and go straight to calling it Volume 3. No Roy Orbison, of course, because Roy Orbison had passed away at this time. But unfortunately, they also let Bob Dylan take most of the lead vocals on this. But again, you can hear a lot of backing vocals, and it sounds very Jeff Lynne style. And all produced by Jeff Lynne and George Harrison. But of course, they gave themselves nicknames on this album. I can't remember what they were called. Oh, produced by Spike and Clayton Wilbury. I'm not sure which one of I'm not sure which one of the two, George Harrison and Jeff Lynne, which one's called Spike and which one's called Clayton. But anyway, kind of funny there. Also have a bootleg here just to show Volume 4 of the Wilburys. So of course there's Jeff. Jeff does an amazing cover of Runaway on here. And if you buy the 2007 CD edition of Volume 3 of the Wilburys, you can hear it on there on the bonus tracks, and my god does he sound good singing that song. So anyway, there's that. And then the last Wilbury item, in 2007 they also put out a 10-inch of an extended version of Handle With Care, so there's that. Okay, so producing work, gonna go back. When it comes to Jeff Lynne's producing work, he's produced a lot of albums and a lot of, you know, solo Wilbury albums. But if you want the best produced Jeff Lynne album, this is the album to go to. Roy Orbison's Mystery Girl. This is easily Jeff Lynne's best produced work. You know, the hit on here, You Got It, just says it all. Amazing. A Love So Beautiful, great. You know, California Blue. And of course, this album is also great in general as well, because Roy Orbison's got an amazing voice. You also get Bono from U2 producing a lot of stuff on here, so it's great. But Jeff Lynne absolutely blew it out the bag here when it comes to producing. And of course, I just reviewed this album on my channel, so if you're interested in seeing a review of it, please go back and check it out. But he also produced and co-wrote the entire Tom Petty Full Moon Fever album from 1989. Amazing album again, just so many good hits on here. You got Free Falling, I Won't Back Down, Running Down a Dream, the Apartment Song, Yeah So Bad. Just great tracks on here, after another one. And of course, very ELO sounding with like a lot of the backing vocals. The Apartment Song always sticks out to me, being like ELO with a new singer. That's what this is. So anyway, fantastic. And surprisingly, Jeff Lynne also went and produced a few tracks on Ringo Starr's 1989 album, Time Takes Time. So, by no means, you know, Ringo's Ringo, I guess. I'm surprised to see Jeff going down to record a Ringo album. But anyway, what Jeff does on here is amazing, because he produced the track Break the World, which is probably the only song on here which I really like. But it's amazing. It's an amazing song. So anyway, great stuff. And then, of course, in the mid-90s, Jeff went and produced all 3 of the Beatles anthologies. And what they done is, because John Lennon obviously not there anymore, he done John Lennon's parts for the other 3 Beatles to bounce off of when they were re-recording some of these tracks, like Free as a Bird. Jeff Lynne would do the John Lennon lines. So that's really cool. And I got Volume 2 and Volume 3 right there. So very, very cool. And then the last 2 produced albums that Jeff Lynne done are, again, solo Beatles. He done what is probably one of Paul McCartney's best albums, and this is a rocking record. This is an amazing album. It's from 1997, so the year I was born. It's Paul McCartney's Flaming Pie. This is just an amazing album, masterpiece. You can really hear Jeff Lynne on it. When you get to the track The World Tonight, Jeff's backing vocals here just sound amazing. Flaming Pie, Souvenir, Beautiful Night. You just get a real feel of Jeff on this album, and it's so good because, you know, probably my 2 favourite musicians there, Paul McCartney and Jeff Lynne, just sounding absolutely amazing together. And then, of course, Jeff worked on this 2001-2002. This came out the year after George Harrison passed away, and it is George Harrison's last album, Brainwashed. So, very sad that George never got to see this released, but, you know, he can rest in peace knowing that Jeff done an amazing job on this, and Jeff made George go out with a bang. So we've really got to take our hats off to Jeff when it comes to this album, really, because I think he done such a good job with this album. And yeah, so that's it for this video. So for those of you who don't really know Jeff's career, the one album which I'd really recommend to go out and pick up is this album here, Armchair Theatre. Amazing record. One which I can't recommend enough. If anyone's going to take anything away from this video, I hope that people will go out and buy this record. This is the one to get. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a message, like the video, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.